Nice. And then from all the different sensations you feel right now, all the different layers of you, where do you feel most well or most connected or just easiest to be with and rest with in your body? Nice. Wonderful. So come lie on your back with your knees bent, and your hands as always can rest either along beside you or they can rest on your belly. And just pull your lower back down and flatten into the floor. And as you inhale, arch and breathe into your belly. As you arch, pull your shoulders backwards. So you're really imprinting the shoulder blades backwards. And as you flatten down, let your shoulders round forward. Maybe turn your palms towards the floor. So as you arch, turn your palms towards the ceiling, pull your shoulders backwards. As you flatten, turn your palms down, round your shoulders forward. It should feel like they complement each other. Arching, shoulders move backwards, rounding, shoulders move forwards. And just feeling on your spine as you arch and as you flatten down. As you arch and as you flatten down. Nice. Come to neutral spine. Your arms are wide beside you, so straight out to your sides and across. And then drop both knees down towards the right. And then back up to center. And then both knees to the left. And back up to center. And as you travel from side to side, really feel like you're wringing out or connecting into the side body, the deep of the pelvis, the rib cage. As you rock from one side to the other, maybe you just notice the places that move very smoothly, and maybe the places that don't move so smoothly. There may be jerky places, places of discomfort, of comfort, as you rock from one side to the other side. Nice, and then all the way back to center. This time take your right hand and glide it over towards your left hand, and glide it all the way over until one palm is resting on the other. So I've rolled over onto my left shoulder, but both of my feet are still flat on the floor. Maybe reach beyond your fingertips with the fingertips. And then glide all the way back, both arms wide. And bring the left hand over towards the right side, keeping both feet pushing into the floor. My left buttock is lifted slightly. And then just rock from side to side, just really feeling that your rib cage is lengthening and opening as you roll from one side to the other. Just feeling into the shoulders, feeling into the length of the spine as you reach. And on the next time you come to a side, doesn't really matter which side you're on, just pause there and reach deeply. Really feel how the back of your waist, the back of the rib cage, the deep of the length of the side of your spine is engaging. Push the left foot or the opposite foot a little bit more into the floor. And then come all the way back. And then the other side, reaching. And just pause there on the reach. Really feeling the push down into your feet. The reach through your fingers and really push a bit extra through your feet. And then come all the way back and come rest on the floor. Nice. So feet are hip distance apart, they're underneath your knees. And then just roll up along your spine, lifting. And then roll down. So we're going to do this maybe around 20 times. So rolling up, squeeze your bum on the top. And so that's 2, lowering down. And again, 3, rising up. And lowering down. And 4, rising up. Squeeze your bum deeply, squeeze your knees together. Lowering down. 5. Lowering down. 6. Lowering down. 7. And lowering down. 8. Squeeze your bum. And lowering down. 10. 9. Oh, that's 9. And lowering down. 10. And lowering down. 11. Squeeze your bum, push deeply into your heels. Imagine that you can go higher now. You've warmed up the spine, So now you're going higher by pushing stronger into your feet, really engaging the back of the body more. 13. 14, squeeze your bum, push deeply into your heels, engage with your elbows and your shoulders. 15. 16, squeeze, reach, deepen. 17. 18. God, 20 is a lot, isn't it? 19, and last one, 20, and you're going to hold it. So push down into your feet and rise. You squeeze to the bum, push into your heels, shoulders are engaging. Arms, let your elbows and your forearms kind of glue themselves into the floor and push down. So the deep lower belly should be engaging, the lower buttocks should be engaging, there should be a squeeze of the bum. And then lowering all the way down, land on the floor. Bring your arms again straight out to your sides like a cross. Your feet are hip distance apart. Drop both knees down towards the right and then glide your left knee up towards your right elbow. Your shoulder, it's the gliding twist. And then come all the way back, both feet to the floor. Drop both knees down towards the left. Glide your right foot, to the knee, and then over towards the left elbow, shoulder. And coming back. And just do that a few times. Over towards the right, glide the left knee up. Feel the deep squeeze at the end of the movement. And then over towards the left. Feel a deep squeeze at the end of the movement. Next time we do it over towards the right, we're going to turn it into a football kick. So drop your knees to the right and then begin to straighten out the left leg and kick the left leg over towards the right. So you're kicking up towards your right hand with your left foot. And then all the way back. And then kick with the right hand up towards the left foot. And all the way back. And then kick from side to side. Feeling the sides of the belly maybe, the sides of the hip, the length of the rib cage. Try to keep your shoulders really steady on the floor, your arms really steady on the floor. So create some resistance by drawing your shoulders backwards as you kick with one leg over. And kick with the other leg over. Over. And the last time. Over. Nice, how cool. From here, bring the soles of your feet together, your knees apart. You can bring your arms along beside you if you wish. And then pushing your hands down into the floor. Push your baby toe side of your feet into the floor. And then lift your hips up off the floor. And then lower down so that your lower back rolls down onto the floor. And then rolling up so you flatten down into the spine and then rise up. And then rolling down all the way down along your spine. At the end you can come into an arching if you wish. So it's like you're arching, flattening down, lift up through your hips. And then rolling down all the way and then you arch at the end. Just feel that your knees will move naturally. Your inner thighs, we're just engaging the inner thighs as you arch and then flatten down and lift. Soles of your feet are together, the baby toe side of your feet are on the floor and your feet are really glued together as much as possible. Can you keep your feet glued together as you roll up and down along your spine, as you lift up through the body, through the hips. Nice, next time that you rise, pause. So pushing down into your feet, rolling up, and just pause there, really gluing your feet together, arms are long beside you, and just feel like your pubic bone is lifting more and more and more towards the ceiling, and just have a sense of the pelvic bones, the inner thighs, the hip sockets, the buttocks, the knees, and really notice what it is that you perceive, what it is that you feel. Nice, rolling all the way down. Keep the soles of your feet together and draw your knees up towards your shoulders. And just pause there, really try to squeeze your knees as close to your shoulders as you can. Your arms are still long beside you, soles of your feet are still glued together. Lower the baby toe side of your feet to the floor, let it tap. And then draw your knees up towards your shoulders, keeping the soles of your feet together. Continue. Baby toe side of your feet to tap. And then draw your knees up towards your shoulders, squeezing deeply. And again, baby toe side of your feet to tap. Lifting your feet to draw your knees towards your shoulders. And again, tap. And then knees towards your shoulders. Pause there, knees towards your shoulders. Your bum has maybe rounded a little bit off the floor, where you feel that deep abdominal engagement as you draw your knees closer and closer towards your shoulders. And relax. Release your feet and have your knees so that they're more or less in the same place, but now your feet, it's like you're doing a lying down squat position. So bring your knees as wide as they'll naturally go, which is probably a little bit wider than your shoulders. Engage your feet, push your heels away. Bring your arms along beside you. And imagine that you can bring your thighs to your belly. And your knees are really wide. So you're in a squatting position. We're just engaging the muscles that we usually use in squatting to lengthen the spine. So imagine that you can get taller from your sit bones all the way to the top of your head as you squeeze your outer thighs or inner thighs towards the outer belly. Knees are really wide, feet are engaging. And breath is down into the belly. A little bit higher. Nice. Stretch both legs up towards the ceiling. And just roll out through your ankles, big circles. And then in the other direction. Nice. Interlock your fingers. Squeeze your knees towards you. Round your head up. Draw your forehead towards your knees. And then lower your arms down above your head. And lower your toes down. Let them touch the floor really lightly. So your arms are above your head, the backs of your hands are resting on the floor, your toes are touching the floor lightly. So your back is extending here, your lower back is slightly arched. And now wrap your arms around your knees, lift your head up, squeeze your head towards your knees. And lower your head down, drop your arms overhead, let your lower back arch slightly. And do that a few times, rounding, pull your knees towards your head. And then release your arms, lower your head, let your toes touch the floor. Rounding, pull your knees towards your head towards your knees. And lower your head down, arms overhead, toes touch the floor. And again, rounding. And then lowering down your arms overhead, let them touch the floor. Nice. Flatten the lower back into the floor and just rock from side to side. Arms can rest overhead as they are, unless you have a kind of a difficulty with one of your shoulders. And if you do, just move your arm until it's in the right place for you. And just rock your knees from side to side. And then roll like there's a clock on the back of your pelvis. And then roll in the other direction. Super cool. So come all the way over and come into your cat pose. Nice, how lovely. What a lovely bunch of people this morning. Nice. So hands are underneath your shoulders. So we're going to be working with this movement, and it's more or less just how would you look at the ceiling behind the right side of your head? So how would you look at the ceiling straight up and behind you? So for me, I bend my left elbow deeply and I drop my rib cage on the left and I turn my head and I look towards the ceiling on the straight behind me on the right, and then come back up to center. And then how would you look at the ceiling straight behind you on the left? Don't force it. Just feel. So look behind you on the right. What would you do? Really let your whole body help you. Come back up. And then look towards the ceiling on the left. So you're really trying to look way behind you towards the ceiling. Just do that a few times. How do you look at the ceiling to the right? Notice what you do in your rib cage. How do you look at the ceiling on the left? One more time each side. Ceiling on the right. What do you do? And ceiling on the left. Oh, what do you do? Nice. And then from here, begin to round your back and sit your bum back towards your heels, and then bring the backs of your hands to rest onto your lower back and draw your forehead down towards your knees. So you're really rounding your back. Your hands are resting onto your lower back, so your elbows are wide and you've dropped your head down towards your knees. Nice. And then bring your hands forward in front of you, and then bring your chin and chest down as close to the floor as you can, like you're trying to look under a cupboard or something, straight in front of you, and you're trying to look forward in front of you, like along the floor. Nice. Rising up, round your back, sit your bum back towards your heels, bring the backs of your hands to the lower back and draw your forehead down towards your knees. And then bring your hands forward in front of you like in a cat, and then look forward like you're trying to look along the floor straight in front of you, really low. So your chin is down, maybe your chest is closed. Pushing down into the floor, reverse. Round your back, bring your hands, the backs of your hands to your lower back, and draw your forehead down towards your knees. Really deeply, like this. How squishy can you get here? How can you round your chin more, draw your shoulders more, really squeeze. And then one more time, the last direction. Hands to the floor, chest comes down, chin comes down, and you're looking along the floor straight in front of you. Nice. And then come back and just come into the normal cat. So round your back and arch your back. Round your back and arch your back. One more time. Round your back and arch. Now take your head and try and look over towards the right as far as you can go. Like, what's the furthest, really ridiculously far as you can go, over towards the right as you can go. So around the corner towards your left foot, kind of. And then come all the way back. And then all the way over towards the left. How far around the left shoulder can you look? Trying to see over towards the right side of the foot. And come all the way back. And just do that one more time. Over towards the right. Look way around the corner to the left foot. And then over towards the corner on the left. Look way around the corner towards the right foot. And coming back. Nice. Lift your knees off the floor. Push back into your downward dog. And just find the length of you. Pushing down into your heels. Draw back. Push down into your hands. Push down. And really find length, strength, connection through the whole of your body. So how would you look at the ceiling behind the right side of your head here? A little bit trickier. And then how would you find the ceiling behind the left side of your head? So do whatever it is that you do. Like, I'm throwing my knees over to one side, my bum is falling, my elbows bending. And just try that again, one more time each side. Look at the ceiling behind your right side of your head. And look at the ceiling behind the left side of your head. No small thing, that. And just stretch back. Downward dog. Nice. How would you look way around the corner to the right? My bum falls over towards the left a little bit as I do that. And then how would you look lay way over the corner to the left? How do I balance that? One more time each side. Look way around the corner to the right. And look way around the corner to the left. Nice. Drop your knees down really wide. And tuck your arms in and just rest for a moment into a child's pose. All the way down. So your arms are tucked in, your head is resting in your hands, or your elbows are bent, supporting your head. And just really have your knees wide and make space for your belly. And just kind of feel like you're wiggling down and deepening into your belly as you do this. And find the length of the back of the body, the deep of the belly. It's a bit like in Sesame Street, you know, this class is brought to you by the letter M and the number 4. So this class will be brought to you by how do you look in different directions, more or less. So we're just going to be really experimenting with that notion of how gesture and looking really changes how we use our spine. So right, so roll your knees towards each other, bring your hands to the floor, and So you're going to tuck your toes under and come into a cat pose, and then just let your knees hover off the floor. And as you, so just arch your back, let your back arch gently as you look forward, lifting the full of the chest forward. And then as you arch, round in the back and look towards your navel. So as you arch, let your knees move wide. And as you round, let your knees move together. As you arch, let your knees move wide. And as you round, let your knees move together. One more time. As you arch, let your knees move wide. And as you round, let your knees move together. So we're going to use that for crouching. As your knees move wide, arch and sit your bum back. So your knees are widening as you look forward. And then come forward into a floating cat. Keep your knees together. Round your back deeply into the normal crouching. So really draw your forehead back towards your knees. And then come back into the normal floating cat. Arch the back. Let your knees move wide. Looking forward. Last time. Keeping your knees floating close. Round the back. Sit your knees back or sit your bum back into floating crouching. Stretch through your legs. Reach the right leg up towards the ceiling. Lowering it down. Reach the left foot up towards the ceiling. Lowering it down. Just do that a few times. So reaching up. And reaching up. Nice. And just find your downward dog. And just lengthen through both sides. So walk your hands all the way forward to the front of your mat. And slowly rounding up, all the way up until you're into a standing position. So bring the backs of your hands to rest onto your lower back. And so your fingers are slightly overlapping and your hands are resting behind you. Your feet are maybe 2 or 3 inches apart. And then tuck your chin in and round your shoulders forward. And then bend your knees and imagine that you can bring your shoulders down to your knees. Keep your chin tucked in the whole time. And then as you roll up, really feel the rounding of your back. Keep your chin tucked in, shoulders rounded forward until you stand all the way up, and keep them rounded forward. So just come forward and back, or up and down. Keeping your back deeply rounded as you come down. Deeply rounded as you come up. So what you're trying to listen to is, how does my spine lengthen in a rounded position? You can sit your bum down deeply as you round. And you feel, how do I hear the back of the length of my spine as I round up and down? Stay rounded, don't lift your head out of the tucked in position. One more time, rounding down. And then coming all the way up. Nice, release your arms, just come to stand for a moment. Nice, and then reach your arms up towards the ceiling, either side of your ears. And then as you just reach up and look up, so your neck shouldn't be stressed, it's kind of somewhere to where the wall and the ceiling meet. And then now as you sit down, keep your chest lifted and sit your bum down. So now you're sitting down in an arching position. And then stand all the way up and get longer. Push your hips forward, squeeze through your bum. And again, sit your bum down, keep your chest lifted as you sit down. And then rising, squeeze through your bum, push your hips forward. And again, as you sit down, deep into your hips, spine is lifted, chest is lifted, and rising up. So try that 2 more times. How do you move in the arched position? Squeeze your bum at the very top, push your hips forward. Last time. Squeeze your bum forward and push it forward. Nice. Lower your arms down, just roll out through your shoulders. Super cool. So we're going to take all those ingredients and we're going to stick them into our sun salutations. So reach your arms wide and bring your palms together as you look up and reach up. From here, rounding the back, lowering down. So now that rounding that we did a moment ago, really feel it through the back of the body as you round forward. And then bring your hands to your shins, lift your chest and look forward. Really feel the opening through the front of the body. Hands to the floor, stretch your right leg long. And then step it all the way back into a lunge position. Drop your right knee down until it almost touches the floor. And then bring your hands behind you to rest onto your lower back. So the backs of your hands are resting on your lower back. Tuck your chin in. Slowly rise up, keep tucked in. And then lower down. Bring your left shoulder to your left knee. And again, rising up. Keep tucked in. Shoulders are rounded forward, head is tucked in. And coming down. This time release your arms, bring them either side of your ears and rise, reaching up and rise up, look up. If you need to drop your knee to the floor, you can. Lowering down, reach your arms back towards your hips. And one last time, reaching up, rising up, open through the chest as you look upwards. Pausing there, knees floating just above the floor or is resting on the floor. Nice. Come all the way down, both hands either side of that front foot. Stretch your back leg. Step back into your plank. Just pausing there, long through both legs. Drop your knees to the floor and lower your chest down until you land on the floor. Bring your fingers wide either side of your mat. Push your toes into the floor, tuck your chin in. And rounding upwards. So really feel that tucking into the chest, the expanding of the back of the body. And then at some stage, let your head rise and look forward. Nice, tuck your chin in. Lowering down, hands either side of your mat, either side of your hips, chest. Sit back into a cat, and then all the way back into your downward dog. So as you stretch back into your downward dog, find the length of you. Both feet, both hands. And stretching your right foot up towards the ceiling. Really find that length. And then just lower your toe down, let it touch. Lift your leg. Touch. It's almost like swinging up to feel the boinginess or the length through the front of your body. And the opening through the front of the belly. Nice. And then step your right foot forward between your hands. Turn your back foot at a 45-degree angle. Bring both hands to rest onto your lower back again. Rounding your back deeply. Keep your back rounded as you rise. And then lowering down. Reach your arms long either side of your ears. And rise and look upwards. Nice. Lowering down. Arms are still either side of your ears. Drop your hands down towards the floor. Bring your hands behind you onto the lower back. Keep your back rounded, rising up. Keep your chin tucked in. Hands behind your back. And lowering down. And then reach your arms either side of your ears. Rising up. Reaching up, look up. Pausing there. Open through the front of the body. Nice. Come all the way down. Bring your hands behind your lower back. Turn and look at the ceiling behind you to the left. How do you do that? Ooh, maybe bring your left hand to the floor. Or maybe not. Left is okay. When you're going right, bring your left hand to the floor and try and look at the ceiling over towards the right. Both hands behind you. Look at the ceiling to the left. Left hand to the floor. Look at the ceiling to the right. Nice. Both hands to the floor. Look over your left shoulder. Look over your right shoulder. Less movement that side. Look over your left shoulder. And look over your right shoulder. Nice. From here, step forward. Both hands to the floor, rounding your back. Slowly rolling up. Reach your arms wide, palms together. Rounding all the way down. Hands to the floor, forehead to your knees. Hands to your shins, lengthen and look forward. Hands to the floor, stretch the left leg long behind you and step it back into a lunge. And then let your left knee float just above the floor. Bring the backs of your hands to rest into your lower back and slowly rounding as you rise. Keep your head tucked in. And then lowering down, bring your right shoulder to your right knee. And again, rise. And lowering down, bring your arms either side of your ears. Rise, lifting your chest, looking upwards. Lowering down, bring your hands back beside your hips. And then rise. Reaching up, looking up. You can drop your knee to the floor if you need to. Otherwise, keep reaching your fingers upwards, opening through the chest. Nice. Lower your hands down. Then come to the floor, step back into your plank. Drop your knees to the floor, lower your belly all the way down. Fingers are wide on your mat. Push your toes down, lift your chin, tuck your chin in, rise through the back of your head, and then look forward. And lowering down, hands on your mat, push back into cat, all the way back into your downward dog. And just find the length of you. Try and look at the ceiling behind the left side of your head. So hard, the downward dog. Try and look at the ceiling behind the right side of your head. Try and look over your left shoulder. And try and look over your right shoulder. And stretch it back. So lift the left foot up towards the ceiling and then let it swing up and down. So you're trying to feel the boingy give of the front of your joint, of the front of the thigh, kind of the movement that happens into the leg, into the hips as you lift, 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 and one more time, lift. Nice. Step your left foot forward between your hands, turn your back foot at a 45-degree angle. Bring your hands to rest onto your lower back with the backs of your hands resting there. And so this rounding coming up, a little bit odd this one, but just trust it. Keep rounded, chin tucked in, shoulders are moving forward, elbows are rounding forward. And lowering down, and bring your arms either side your ears, rising up, and looking up, pausing there. Really lengthen through the spine, open through the belly, reach into the arms. Nice. Lowering down with your arms either side of your ears, and then bring your arms behind the lower back, and then turn and look towards the right behind your head. Bring your right hand to the floor, turn and look at the left behind your head. Hands behind your back, right behind your head. And hand to the floor, left behind your head. Nice. Both hands to the floor, look towards the right. And look towards the left. Look towards the right. And look towards the left. Nice. Step back and knees wide. And rest into your child's pose. All the way down. Just finding your breath, sinking into it. And have your knees wide enough that you can feel a stretch through your inner thighs. So land into your belly, lengthen into your breath, feel the points of contact between you and the floor. Nice. So we're going to come into a squatting position. So the position you're in right now, so rise up until your hands are on the floor. Just in front of you. And so in theory this is a bit like a squatting position because your knees and you're deeply folded, but gravity is doing something different. So bring your hands a little bit closer back, tuck your toes under, and whatever way you do, come rest into your version of squatting. So your feet might move a bit wider. If your heels are really floating, then it's really nice to put a book or a pillow or something underneath your heels. So you have a sense of contact with the floor between your heels. And then bring your elbows, your arms between your thighs, reach your hands forward. And just create some length by reaching through the spine and looking forward. Nice. And then round. So draw your forehead down, like as if you're going to try and bring your nose to your belly button. And then lift through the spine and looking forward, lifting deeply, like you're getting taller up through the top of your head. And then rounding, draw your forehead down. And then lifting, rise through the spine. Nice. So keep your right hand where it is. Bring the left hand to the front of your left shoulder and then lift your left elbow up towards the ceiling. So I'll go sideways. So you're lifting your left elbow up and you're looking up a little bit. So you're leaning into that right thigh and then lower your hand down and we'll do the other side. So bring your fingers to the front of the right shoulder, lift your elbow and look up and coming down. Left side, lift your elbow, looking up, coming down, and then right side, lift your elbow, looking up, coming down. So if we only look, so try and look towards the ceiling behind your head on the right, and then try and look at the ceiling to your left. So just do that a few times, look really deeply up, like as above you as you can, checking for spiders or something, and then above you as you can. Nice. One more time, on the right, and then on the left. Cool. Try and look over, like over your shoulder to the left, and then try and look over your shoulder to the right. You can bring your hands to your knee. Let's say if you're going left, bring your hand to your knee, look over your left shoulder, and then bring your hand to your knee on the right, look over your right shoulder. Nice. Sit your bum down, or whatever way you do, come out of your squat. Stretch your legs long and roll out through your ankles. And just roll out through your belly. Deep sense of circling through your belly, rounding, and then in the other direction. Nice. To look up towards the ceiling on the right, and then look up towards the ceiling on the left. Look over your shoulder on the left. And look over your shoulder on the right. Nice, cool. So bend one knee, stretch it out. Bend one knee, stretch it out. Super cool. So, sit in the long of your mat, which you are, which is great. And then bend your right knee and pull it in towards you. Just hug it in deeply. And then stretch it out long. And then pull your left knee in and hug it in deeply. And stretch it out long. And then pull both knees in. And as you squeeze your knees in towards you, I really feel like you're holding onto your knees, you're squeezing your shins in, and you're pulling your shoulders backwards. Nice. And then bring your feet parallel to your knees. And just have a sense of lengthening through the whole of your spine. Nice. Bring your right hand behind your lower back, and notice how the right shoulder rounds forward as you do that. And then come back out. And then bring the back of the left hand onto the lower back on the left. Spine rounds forward and come back. Try both hands behind your lower back. Notice how your spine rounds. And reach both hands forward. Bring the backs of both hands behind your lower back. And then forward. Nice. Lower your feet down. So your feet are around a foot apart. And your hands are pointing wide and they're slightly back from your hips. Push down into your feet and then slowly begin to slide your bum forward and lift your hips up till your knees, hips and shoulders are in one long line. And then slide your bum back. You'd either just land on the floor in front of your hands or slide your bum back till your legs are straight and your bum is back a little bit behind your hands. And again, slide forward, lift your hips, rising, and slide back. Bring your bum back maybe towards your hands, maybe with your knees still bent. Do it a few times, rising, lift, and rounding forward. So notice how As you go forward, you're extending the spine. As you move backwards, you're rounding. So exaggerate the rounding by dropping your head. And I really feel the lifting as you rise forward, rounding as you pull back. Lifting as you rise forward, rounding as you come back. One more time. Lifting, rounding. Nice. Roll out your shoulders, big circles. Roll out your wrists, big circles. Nice. So there's two different versions of the next movement. One is where we're on the floor with it, which is great, and then there's a second version where we lift our bum. So see which one is right for you. So bring your right hand to the floor just beside you, a bit like the position the last one was in. Bend your left knee. So your foot is like a foot away from the other knee. So your left foot is on the floor and there's a foot between your knee and your right knee and your left foot. So reach forward with your left hand and touch your right foot. And then reach your left hand all the way back and point kind of at a 45-degree angle behind you to the left. So it's like you're pointing way off towards the left and you're looking back. Reach your arm all the way forward, drop your hand down towards your foot, and round your head forward. And then lift your hand up and point back behind you. It's kind of like a direct diagonal. And again, round forward, drop your head down. And then swing back, point back, look back. Next time you reach forward, let your right foot lift a little bit. So your foot meets your hand. And then lower your hand, a foot down, reach your arm behind you. And again, foot meets your hand. And then hand long behind you. One last time. Foot meets your hand. Arm long behind you. Change sides. Bend your right knee, bring your left hand to the floor beside you. Reach your right hand forward to your left foot. Really feel a pull, a rounding through the back of the right side of your back. And then reach your arm up and look back and point back. You feel the length of your arm as you reach back. Reaching forward, round your back, coming forward. And coming back, reach back, point back. And again, rounding forward. And then reach back, point back. Next time you come forward, your foot will meet your hand, lifting your foot. And then lower your foot, reach your hand behind you. Lift your foot. Reach back behind you. And one last time, lift your foot. Reach back behind you. Great. So we're going to bring that one more stage further. So bend your left knee, have your right foot in front of you. And so stay with the second version, stay with that version. So lift your right foot, bring your left hand to your foot. So this is the second version. And then keep your leg in the air and reach your left hand behind you. Okay. Yes. Okay, so stay there if that feels strong enough. Or lift your bum off the floor. So your right bum is off the floor. And now lift your foot, let your hand and foot come together. And then lower your foot to the floor and reach your left hand over your ear and come into wild thing. Bring your bum down close to the floor. Lift your right foot to hand. Lower your foot to the floor. And the length is where you're looking towards the right with your head and your arm is over your ear. Your left arm is over your ear. And then reach your hand down, let it touch your foot. One last time. Reach your arm over your ear. Nice, other side. Change. Left leg is long, right knee is bent. Left hand is beside you. So do this one. Lift foot and hand, let them touch. So right hand, left foot. Keep your foot in the air, reach your arm behind you. Stay at this level. Or lift your bum, foot and hand touch. Drop your foot, come into wild thing. So you're looking towards the left with your head and your arm is over your ear. And then foot and hand touch. Reach over your head into wild thing. Foot and hand touch. Last time. Over your head into wild thing. Nice. Come all the way down. And just roll out to your shoulders, big circles. As you roll, really feel the shoulders, the elbows. Nice. Nice, and then roll in the other direction. Roll right through your wrists. Super. If you're sitting on your mat, bend your right knee so your foot is as wide as your mat, and then tuck your left foot so that it's kind of in a diagonal line between your right heel and right bum. Your left foot is resting in that line as such. And then bring your left hand to the floor beside you and reach your right hand forward as far as you can forward. Then touch the floor in front of you and then come back. And then reach your right hand forward as far forward as you can, really gliding out with your fingers. And then coming back. And again, reach your right hand forward, maybe touching forward, and then coming back. Next time we're going to reach forward, we're going to rise. So reach forward and then lift. And then lower your bum down. Push into the left hand as you reach forward and lift. And lowering down. And again, reach forward and then lift. And lowering down. Right, other side. Both feet are as wide as your mat. Tuck your right foot in so it's in the diagonal between the left heel and left buttock. Bring your right hand to the floor beside you. And then reach with the left hand and roll across that right knee as you reach as far forward as you can. Keep your right hand on the floor the whole time, it's very nice. And then come back. And then reach. And come back. And reach. And coming back. Next time we're going to reach and then come up. So reach, rise, hand to the floor, sit your bum down, push into your hand, reach, rise, coming all the way down, and one more time, push into your hand, reach, rise, and come all the way down. Nice. Stretch both legs long, just feel into your ankles, into your knees. Nice. So cross the left foot on the inside, right foot on the outside. So you can sit on something for this, like a pillow or a thing from your couch or a poof or something. So we're going to try and stand from here, okay, right? So as much support, if you have a little stool, you know those little poof stools? Kind of something 6 inches to 9 inches high is really great for support. Or if you feel like you have resilience in your ankles and knees and hips, then we could try it just from here. So bring your left foot on the inside, right foot on the outside. And then your left hand is behind you. So we'll start with pushing into our hands. So push the left hand into the floor and lift your bum up. And then come back down. So your right hand is forward, your left hand is behind you. And again, push your left hand into the floor, lifting up. Lowering down. So I'm throwing my head forward. The further my head goes forward, the easier it is to lift my bum in theory. Try the other side. Bring the right foot in, left foot to the outside. Bring your right hand behind you. You're reaching the left hand forward. Lift your bum. Lowering down. And lift your bum. Lowering down. And again, lift your bum. Lowering down. Come back to the first side. Right foot on the inside, left foot on the outside. I'm going to try, see, if you don't want to do it with it, if you want to continue with your hands, then do, know your limits. Lift your bum. It could be a little hop, could be where you lift a bit more. Just feel that. You're lifting up, you're resting on the baby toe side of your feet. You're just noticing, how do I rise? How do I get the support that I need to? Maybe use your hands, maybe be up in a little block. One more time. Other side, last of these. Bring your right foot on the inside, left foot on the outside. Hiya! Channel your inner Miss Piggy. Hiya! Go for it. Notice what you recruit. I find the more I reach into my arms and fingers, the more I have a connection to the momentum of me. Nice, and then just stretch your legs out long. And just pause there for a moment. How wonderful. Great. So just from here, I want you to come all the way forward to remove your blocks or whatever it was that you had on your mat, and just come lie on your backs. Go all the way down and land on your back. When you land, just feel the outside, the baby toe side of your feet. Feel your ankles, your knees, your hips, the length of your spine. Nice. So from here, have your feet hip distance apart and reach the right arm overhead so it's resting on the floor, just long and straight up over your head. So your right shoulder is near your right ear. And then drop both knees over towards the right, and then bring the left knee on top of the right and come rest onto your right arm so you're lying on the side of your body. So I'm resting on my right upper arm, my left arm is resting along the top of my left hip, and both knees are stacked on top of each other, both feet are stacked on top of each other. And then just connect into the abdominal space. So just pull your abdominal space backwards. And as you do that, really feel like the lower back is widening and lengthening as well. And feel like you're connecting into your rib cage. So ever so slightly pull your rib cage back as well. And feel like the front of your body is becoming very stable. And just feel that a few times, really, how do you connect into stability through the front of your body while staying long? How do you stay long and connected? And then, everybody, what to do. So bring your left hand, don't lean into your hand, so bring just your fingertips of the left hand to the floor in front of you. And then keeping your big toes together, lift the left knee up. But don't let your abdomen fall backwards. You should feel it through the side of the hip and the buttock. And then lower your knee down. And again, lifting. Don't let your belly move as you lift your left knee up and down, keeping your big toes stuck together. How do you really engage that outer part of your bum, that outer part of your thigh, as you lift your left knee up and then lower down. And every time you do it, feel like your belly has to really work, because otherwise it's going to move. So really feel like your belly resists the movement of the left hip. You should be feeling a certain amount of burn on the outside of your bum, outside of your hip. Nice, and then just pause, let that relax. Nice. So then bring your left hand, maybe bring it overhead. Let's see what that's like. So your elbows bent or your arm is straight. And then from here, bend your left knee so it pulls up towards you. Keep your belly space connected. Then bring your two big toes together, lift your knees wide. Bring your knees together, draw your left knee up towards your face. Bring both feet together, lift your knee wide. Bring your knee up towards your face. And then lift your knee wide. Nice. Stretch your left leg long. It should feel amazing to stretch your left leg long. And now bend your left knee up towards your face. Keep yourself really connected through the torso. Stretch the left leg long so it's really straight and long. And then bend the left knee and draw it up towards you. Notice how it gets stuck. And then one more time. Straighten the left leg. And then bend the left knee towards you. Nice. From here, straighten the left leg and then swing your left foot in front of you, but go really slowly because you're not allowed to move your torso. And then slowly swing your leg straight down so it's straight and away from you. Swing your leg in front of you, forwards, and then swing your leg down until it's straight back and down. One last time. Swing your leg forward in front of you, and just pause there. Nice, bend your knee. Bring both knees together, and then roll over onto your other side. So come to rest on your back, feet are hip distance apart. Bring your left arm long beside your ear so it's straight. Drop both knees over towards the left. Bring your right foot on top of the left one. Come rest onto the left arm, the top of your head. No, the side of your head is resting on your left arm. Bring your fingertips to the floor just in front of you very lightly, and then just Create space and length in the front of your belly. So pull your rib cage backwards, really feel the front of your belly engaged, like you're widening into the lower back. Keeping your big toes touching. Lift your right knee, squeeze through the bum as you lift, and then drop your knee down. Lift your right knee, lowering down. Lift your right knee. Notice what stops you and really feel like you stabilize at that moment, because naturally what we'll do is we'll just sway ourselves backwards, or we'll take the movement from position more so than the joint. You feel like you're lengthening and dropping down, and lengthening and dropping down. Toes are touching. You notice the stretch. So you're trying to lengthen. It's almost like you're pulling your knee away from your inner thigh every time. Let your thigh become really long as you do this. Both sides, inside of your thigh, outside of your thigh is lengthening. Nice. One more time. Nice. From here, bring your arm above your head already. You can have your elbow bent. I like my elbow bent with my hand resting on the floor above my head. And then draw your right knee up towards your chest. Bring both feet together. Open your knee wide. Bring your right knee up towards your chest. And then open your knee wide. Right knee up to your chest. And then open your knee wide. Great, one last time. Right knee up to your chest. And now stretch your leg long. It should feel amazing. Oh my God, it's amazing. And then bend your knee. Draw your knee up towards your chest. And then stretch your leg long. It should feel amazing, really strong. Really feel like, oh, lovely, such great length. And then bend your knee. And one more time, stretch your leg long. And keep it long. And now begin to stretch it straight out in front of you. So travel straight out in front of your hip. Feel the kind of this resistance in the movement. And then straight back down until it points away from you. And then leg travels in front of you. And then down and away from you. And then in front of you. And then down and away from you. Super cool. From here, pause next time you go out. So just pause there, leg is straight in front of your hip. It's pointing out in front of you. Pause there. And then bend your knee and come all the way back to center. Have both arms long and wide beside you. You should be able to track the outsides of your bum, the outsides of your hips right now very easily. Just give them a bit of a rub. So thank you so much. Amazing. And then arms are wide beside you, feet are hip distance apart. Drop both knees down to the right and then do a gliding twist. And let the gliding twist be really like a massage for the deep of your belly and the deep of your hips. So feel as you roll onto your hip that you're massaging not the top leg, but the under leg. So how would you really massage the under leg as you do this? Really creating space, creating length into the hip as you draw yourself over into the gliding twist on one side, and then the gliding twist on the other side. You can stay at this level or begin to kick like a footballer. So begin to swing your left leg out to the side, up towards your left hand, or right foot, opposite hand, and then left leg over towards your right hand. And just find that in your body. How do you sway, swing, open from one side to the other? Super cool. Come all the way back to center. Hands rest on your lower belly. Arms are long beside you. And then from here, walk your feet a little bit closer towards your hips. So towards your bum. And then push the back of your head into the floor and walk your shoulders a little bit closer together. So you should feel like your chest is already lifted a little bit up because you've squished your elbows and shoulders a little bit closer towards you. And then push down into your feet and lift up through your hips. And so make sure your neck feels comfortable and don't turn your head when you're in this position. So if you need to look again, then come down. And so draw your elbows a little bit closer in towards each other and maybe straighten out through your arms. So your arms are reaching down towards your heels, your chest is opening and you're pushing down into your hips to lift deeply up through the chest. Oh, a butterfly. That's really cool. Use your feet. And then unpop one shoulder and then unpop the other shoulder. Slowly rolling down. Just push the back of your head into the floor and let your shoulders lift because you've pushed your head into the floor, and let them drop. And then push your head into the floor and let the whole of the back of your spine lift, except for your bum and your head. Everything else is off the floor, and let it land. And again, push your head into the floor, push your bum into the floor. But I'm not changing the position of my head. It's literally like I'm just about to, so if I was to say caterpillar yourself down the floor, so do that now. So how do you caterpillar yourself? So it's where you push your head into the floor and then walk your shoulders towards your feet and then caterpillar in the other direction. And so we're really using our head and shoulders and the back of the body in a really strong and deep way. So just walking up and down along your mat. The initial one, caterpillar, is where the shoulders are moving together. They're moving at the same time. Two shoulders move, head and hips move. Two shoulders move, head and hips move. Two shoulders move. And then in the other direction, how do you move everything as kind of thing? And then the next one you're going to do is where you kind of walk one shoulder and then the other shoulder and then one shoulder and then the other shoulder. So it's like you're trying to walk underneath something with your hips and then walk up your mat. One shoulder, the other shoulder, one shoulder, the other shoulder, one shoulder, the other shoulder. And then rest on the floor. So just pull your knees up towards your chest for a moment and just rock a little bit from side to side, like you just iron out the back of your body. And then just stretching out through both legs if you wish, or keep your knees bent if you wish. Arms are long beside you. And just feel. So there's probably a slightly, I always call it a slightly pinched feeling through your shoulders. We're not used to putting weight in our shoulders. Like our feet are used to weight taking, our hands are used to weight taking, our knees somewhat as well. But our shoulders don't take weight in the same way, so you probably feel like they've been working. I say it's one of the most amazing ways to create strength in your shoulders is to do that walky thing along the floor. Just landing, arriving, settling. We moved in many different directions. We looked in different directions. We balanced our body to really be able to perceive around us more. Rounded the spine, extended the spine. Really feel that through the whole of your body, that movement, how you moved through it all. Really feeling that sense of resting, arriving, settling. At the very beginning of the class, we checked in with ourselves emotionally. We checked in with that place in us that was feeling something right now. And so as you check in with it now, as you feel into that place, either in your face, in your throat, in your chest, in your heart, your lungs, your diaphragm, your belly, where is it that you feel something now, or has something changed? Just notice, has something changed in you as you land here, as you settle here? How have we moved through something? How have we allowed ourselves to come into a deeper sense of regulation and connection? Deeper sense of movement,
Notice your limbs, your 2 arms, 2 legs, your head. And just notice the boundary of you, that sense of the skin of you, the outer limits. And the sense of your breath into your belly. And a sense of the weight of your body right now. The back of your head, the shoulders, the length of your spine. The lower back and buttocks. And depending on your thighs, either the way your legs are, either the backs of your thighs, your calves, your heels, or the soles of your feet. And you just feel that Mother Earth has you. Nice. And then just deepening your breath into your belly. And just begin to reach and lengthen and elongate. How do you stretch or awaken or arise? How do you feel the whole of your body right now? Now, maybe drawing your knees up, maybe rocking your knees over.